quite a good team.
Yeah. I mean,
So
we
is
are
it just me? Is it just
right.
me, or is it not just Patrick that is in a different space in terms of relationships?
Mm, mm,
You
mm.
think maybe
Oh,
Kathleen?
oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah, I didn't until that very last comment that you made. I didn't question that, but it may be.
yeah,
It may
yeah,
be.
yeah. I'm not certain, but it definitely seems that way, and it seems to me that she's cool with it. And
Expectations.
it would explain the dad's opposition.
He is feeling that, and that.
Here's the thing: if he senses it about his daughter already, right? I mean, I don't know if they've been boyfriends or not, but let's assume they aren't. Whatever, he gets a sense that there's this possibility, especially since that door's been opened by the son. If she's moving in with a girl that she's fairly recently known, well, 2+2.
Exactly.
He's
And
just putting it together. So I don't like her. It's not that he doesn't like the girl. He doesn't like this because he's a bit not a bit. He's resistant still with the son. It's not going to be any
yes,
different with the daughter. So it just makes sense of everything. Again, I'm totally speculating.
Yeah,
It's a
could
but
be.
I'm not sure now that I was just thinking about it. She has a boyfriend.
yeah. I know, but
Remember, Robin was talking about how Kevin can't stand the boyfriend because he's lazy or whatever.
yeah, I know, but that's so
Right.
many times, people who
Yeah.
are that way,
Cover.
they're
Right.
beards,
Yeah.
so it doesn't mean anything really in the way things go. And I was just
Yeah.
saying to Beena again, I'm not sure yet. It just was my guess, So, and
Yeah,
also
just
I felt too from the conversation that Kathleen's a big girl. So when she
Yeah.
came on, that was confirmed. But
Yeah.
that the dad, he's obviously a little bit resistant to this idea. We know this from Patrick. If he senses this with the daughter and he's not quite sure, well, she's moving in with a girl that she's recently met. Well, two and two makes four. Now, it might not be true, but he may feel that. So, if it isn't so, she might just say, "Look, Dad, I'm not a lesbian. Just chill." Or if he is, well, hey, you just got to make peace with it. It is what it is. We live in a different world. Either
Right.
way, it's just something to address because obviously it is an issue for him. So
Hmm.
whether it is so or not, it doesn't matter. It's still in his mind something that needs to be addressed. It seems to me, at least, there's a chance, a likelihood. I don't want to say is so. It's my guess, But since we know this to be an issue with Patrick, he might fear this with Kathleen as
Hmm.
well.
Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
people who are a bit on that sensitive to stuff like this, a bit homophobic and sensitive, to have one kid, okay, you can still live with it. Everybody's got that kid, but to have two, oh my goodness, now it's like, oh,
There's so much more to what's bothering Kevin than his work, and
oh, lots of stuff,
it's
yeah.
clear.
And
It's
and
not the
and
dog.
and
It's not
this would explain the irrationality of it
absolutely.
because he doesn't want to, because he's not sure. And like same way we are, he doesn't want to say, oh, maybe this, because now he's going to, oh, but Dad, don't just think this, you're homophobic, blah blah blah. So he's in a really tough situation. So if
Mhm.
they open the door and address it, all right, then it's out, and the cat's out of the bag. And yeah,
Right.
so that's interesting. So maybe we can maybe get Robin to come on at some point, just a little extra, so
Hmm.
we can chat about it. So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
If she wants to. But there's definitely a moreness here, and it
Mm.
just, I wanted to. That's why I'm really pleased that she came on video. So just
Hmm.
give that
Yeah. Oh, that
little
was
extra
fabulous.
perspective. It was very cool. It was very cool.
Fabulous.
Now,
Yeah.
now she sounds. See, this is why I love this. It's why I like to hear people. What we hear from Kathleen, and when you see her, two different things.
Hmm.
Our faces tend to reflect our past. Our voices tend to reflect the future. Our moreness, it's in the voice. I mean, when you hear her and you see her, two different people. Yeah,
Hmm.
she doesn't look the way she sounds. It's quite
Yeah.
amazing. It's quite amazing. I mean, she sounds very mature, very sensible. But I'm glad she's a nurse. I really am glad she's a nurse.
Hmm.
and that she's looking to be an RN, right, which is a little bit more of a nurse, that's
Awesome.
registered nurse, right? I mean, you're a senior nurse. This is a more nurse. This is quite a big deal, right? So yeah, I like it because she's got that nurse,
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's just for the solidity of her being, that togetherness, to have that and have a place to be able to exercise it. Otherwise, people who are together like that, they don't have an outlet, and it's just it's a problem. It's a very very big problem. So yeah,
Yeah, and she can practice that ruthless positivity on her own father, that she'll
it
do in
needs
her
to be
nursing.
the positive ruthlessness. Yes, yes, yeah. Oh, you said ruthless
Mhm.
positivity. Yeah, same thing. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But positive ruthlessness, yeah, yeah, yeah. He needs it right now. And again, too, he's in a tough spot because he's not thinking clearly. He's under stress at work. He's low energy. So this just compounds a thing. He's in a very tough spot. That's why I brought up those patients and they get ugly, man. I don't know if you've ever noticed that or seen that, but man, some people are
Yeah.
in real pain or in fear. Usually it's fear of the awful truth. They get really horribly ugly. It's really nasty. They get mean, nasty, horrible. But hey, you gotta deal with them. You gotta deal with them.
Mhm.
And the good nurses just let that stuff bounce off them.
Mhm.
Very powerful. Very cool. Very cool. Very cool. Where you been
Very.
at, Sue? What's been happening? What's been going on?
Doing good, doing good. I really enjoyed that with Erica
Yes,
yesterday,
I'm
and
looking
I
forward to
sent
Friday.
her all last night. It took me like 2 hours. I'm
Yeah.
emailing people and
Yes.
sending them, and
Yes.
you should see what came out of it. I sent the ones to
Oh.
France because of the time difference. I didn't hear back yet from them, but my niece out in California who's lived in Portugal. She was actually applying for her citizenship there and lived in Spain and all over. She said, "Oh, I'd be absolutely happy to help your friend."
Excellent.
And
Excellent.
my other friend whose daughter has a business, her daughter and son-in-law opened up a it's called Dos Santos. It's a craft beer making place on
Yeah,
their
yeah.
vineyard
Wow.
I mean,
Wow.
they're unbelievable. So she sent me all these pictures and she said, "Oh, I'll be more than happy to talk to your friend and I'll give her my daughter's information." And they live between London and Portugal because they're trying to open up 6 more places,
Wow.
and the COVID is slowing them down a little bit.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're going back and forth, but she has a condo there. She said, if they want to go out, if your friends want to go out, we rent it out. She said to see the region. She said they can absolutely use it. And
Yeah.
she sent pictures of it. Oh my God. So I was sending all this stuff. I was bombarding
Oh.
Erica
Oh.
Jade with all
fa-
kinds of stuff, but I think it's going to,
Oh, fabulous, fabulous, fabulous.
yeah.
I'm so pleased that this is happening and that you are assisting Erica Jane in this. She's
Mhm.
such a nice person,
Ah,
nice people, they struggle to ask for help and assistance like this. And
mhm,
also, she's a bit alone in where she's at. You know what I
mhm.
mean? She like look. You have this fantastically magical network of people you know and friends. Erica Jane has none of that. None.
No, I hear you.
I mean,
I
she
hear
has
you.
friends, yes, but not like this.
Yeah.
She
Yeah.
doesn't have this kind of connectivity. So you connecting her to this, she's connecting to a greater world, which is absolutely necessary and magically valuable for her. Again,
Yeah.
to be in this gateway. It is to me something very, very special what you do, Sue.
Mhm.
It's very, very special. Very
I love
awesome.
I love hooking people, you know what I
Yes.
mean, on this
Being
kind
the
of a level
gateway.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah. But and these are really good people. And the
Exactly.
one, she goes, "Oh, I just moved. Come down to Easton." She said, "When you go to your acupuncture appointment," she said, "and we can chat, and any questions that your friends have, I'm willing to answer for them." And
Fabulous.
they
Fabulous.
sold their big, massive. She came from a decently wealthy Lebanese family in Easton,
Ah,
which is a huge population in Easton, but
yeah.
her husband was his family is filthy rich. You know what I mean?
Interesting. Yeah,
In this town, and she married into this tons and tons and tons of money. But she's a life coach, and she's a school teacher, and she is a coach, a basketball coach. You
yeah.
know, and I knew her through she's my sister's age. But I knew all of my sister's friends, and you know, she knew our family, and it's just a long, you know, a history. Again, we don't hang out, but I know her well enough to reach out to her and say,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
and I knew she would help. That's just who she is, you know.
And
So.
you see Erica Jane's moreness, and you know
Oh, oh, yeah,
it's unreal moreness. And
ridiculous.
she's never been in an environment, particularly her sophistication. She's never been in an environment where that had the opportunity to be expressed,
Flourish.
you know,
Yeah,
and where she can just be who she really is. I mean, you
yeah,
see, you know, I mean, Kay has it too, but Kay also has been inhibited to it. But I mean, you know, Erica Jane's like she lives in a different world, you know. I mean, she's that sophistication we're talking about, like especially
oh,
that French sophistication, you know, just European sophistication. This is what Erica Jane has, and it's not available to her. She's never had this, and she's so grown up in isolation. Really, it's
yeah,
astonishing. Yes, she's got friends and all that, but still, you know, at school she wasn't a popular kid, not with lots of friends, you know, one or two. But still, even in the environment, it's not available really in general in America. You got to kind of work at it to get it in America.
sure.
Whereas, you know, in Europe, it's a
Absolutely.
little easier to connect to. It's a big deal.
Yeah, and
So this is very thrilling to me because this world that you connected to is not a world that she is easily able to access. So it's a very big deal. This. Thank you, Sue. Thank you. Thank you.
yeah. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I was happy too. And again, you know, it's it's a big deal. You don't, you know, these are my friends. You know what I mean? It's
Yes, it's a very big deal.
very
Yes,
secure for somebody like Erica Jane, you know, and Joe to.
right.
And I know once she hooks up with the French people, Arnaud is a question asking person, and I know they'll have a lot of
Right.
conversation, you know. So I sent her all the emails and all the texts. I copied her on everything and said, this is what I sent them, so you know. And then I gave her a background of
Brilliant.
who they were, what their kids'
Right.
names were,
Yeah.
just so she has some
Yeah.
little bit of history
Oh,
and stuff like
and
that
you
on
know,
it.
Erica is a triple Virgo as well. I don't think she's technically a Virgo, but she's got that triple Virgo going on. So she'll study all of this stuff. She'll follow on. And this is the other part that makes me very happy, is that you know you are bestowing a gift on your friends of
Mhm,
Erica Jane, right?
mhm, mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, she's an easy gift to give.
yeah,
You
exactly.
know, she is. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't even have to wrap her. You
Exactly,
know.
exactly, exactly, exactly. So this is where I love this. You know, this is just like bonus magic for everybody involved. This
Yeah,
is just too
yeah. I
fabulous.
hope
Right?
it all works out. I mean, she'll
Oh,
have, they're all willing and able, which I knew they would be,
exactly,
to
exactly,
help.
exactly. And
Yeah,
I tell you what, the soonest that I can get into a circumstance, boy, I'm going visiting not just Erica Jane and you and all your friends too, and you know Beena too. This is my plan and objective.
yeah,
So
good,
yeah,
good. So
yeah.
that
I want to
catapults
get
you to
back
get
into
your
that
shit
space
done.
of being able to travel and to
That's right.
travel. I love traveling. I can just be permanent traveler. You know.
Hmm. Yeah, and you can do your work from anywhere, which is the
Exactly.
beauty.
It was one of
Yeah.
the objectives before
Yep.
we this has been a focus for a long time before you know doing a course whatever all this kind of thing came into it. They said I want a business I can do from anywhere. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was a very specific intent. So yeah, I can do it from anywhere. Exactly. Exactly.
Great.
And you don't even need a laptop nowadays. You do it with a phone.
Yeah. Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
crazy.
It's
Good
unbelievable.
stuff.
It's really magical. Really magical. So
Good
it's very
stuff.
cool. So yeah, it's on the horizon. It's on the horizon. Definitely looking to do that.
Glad to
Very
hear
cool.
it. Glad to hear
Very
it.
exciting. Very exciting. I'm so thrilled you've been helping Erica Jane. That really, really makes me very happy.
Yeah, she
Very
has I gave her all, you know me, I finish it right to the end. I gave her
Yes, and
all
she's
the,
so diligent, boy. And she, I mean, you got to see the research that she did. It's
oh,
like
I
lists
bet.
and charts, and she, man, it's too fabulous. I just
I
love
told
it.
him, I said she did a lot of research, and I said, and she realized that France, Portugal, Spain are really good places to live
Yeah,
and raise children. I said they currently don't have children; they're young professionals. You know, I said so. You know, she wants. You know, I said with you guys. You know, I specified it for each person
yeah,
specifically. You know, with you doing what you do, and you know all the places you've
yeah. And
lived
it's just
and
listen.
traveled, you'd be perfect to talk to
Yes, and
her.
it's just you
So
nice people. All of you are nice, good, magical, wonderful, mourners people. It's like, come on, how is there not the connectivity here, right? So this is just too fabulous.
yeah,
It makes me very, very happy to hear. So this is very
very cool.
exciting. This is very exciting. Yeah, yeah.
Very cool.
I
All
do
right,
feel that at some point when Erica Jane clicks onto something that she really wants to do and to be passionate about it, this is going to be something special and something magical.
gonna be big. Gonna be big.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
keep
absolutely.
stressing this. It doesn't have to be. I said, if that happens, it will be. If not, you're magical in just being who you are. Just being a mother, for instance, man, this is going to be something too.
Yeah.
So,
Oh my
you
God. Yeah.
notice though, before she spoke about if we maybe, she was really doubting and considering family or no family. But the way she speaks now, it's a foregone conclusion, right?
Yeah.
You
Hmm.
hear it. You hear it too?
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Here's a picture of the view from the condo.
Wow. This is the condo in Portugal, yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fabulous.
This is
Fabulous.
inside their winery, the beer place in the winery.
Wow.
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 Look at,
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Wow. See now this is what I'm saying. This is the sophistication and the artistry which Erica Jane has, but she didn't grow up in that environment. I mean she's
yeah.
acquired it and wow. Wow. She's learned it herself, you know. It didn't come from her environment. Oh, that's fabulous, Sue. That's fabulous.
Here's the vineyard
Wow.
that they have.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's interesting because, beer you don't make from grapes, but that's interesting.
Yeah, they have both. They're
Oh, they
doing their
make
beer
wine as well. Okay.
crafting and
Okay.
their wine. They had pictures. This my friend's daughter just had their first baby, so it's her first grandchild. So she flew over there for 1 month and stayed with them. And she posted on Facebook um, them stomping the wines with their feet, and the baby
Yes, like Lucy.
stomping. Yeah, like Lucy. But they do it, themselves. Here's a picture of the couple, the young couple.
Fabulous. That's Erica and Joe.
Yeah, there you go. There, how cute. Look at how cute the daughter is.
Wow, she
Yeah,
even looks
and
like Erica, but
yeah, interesting. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
So the
brilliant,
mother was just
brilliant.
bombarding me with all these photos and
Yeah,
and I'm like, fine. Just sent them all. I kept sending them all to Erica. Her phone was
wow,
probably blowing up last
wow,
night, but
right.
I'm
Uh,
like,
Sue, let me just ask you: the home you grew up in, it doesn't look
yeah,
like your home, right? Now,
no,
no.
no,
Okay, that's what I
no.
thought. I just wanted to check
Yeah,
because in the same way as you've acquired a sophistication and an exquisiteness, you acquired that on your own. You learned that by
yeah,
yourself, right? And
yeah.
Erica Jane is in that same process. I mean, she's already done this.
Mhm.
So, but she did not grow up in that either. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No, I didn't either. You
right,
know what I mean? We were, middle class, and
right,
my
right,
father worked really hard, and
right,
he made most of the furniture, and and it was a nice home, and then he
right,
built our home. We lived in an apartment with my
right,
grandmother for many years.
right.
She
So,
owned.
and Erica Jane is in that space of always looking at the mourners. I mean, when Cher, did her travel and went to California, she stopped off at, uh, well, from
Right.
Nebraska, she went down to Oklahoma and then came across to us. So Erica Jane sent little jams that she made. You gotta see these things. I wish I still had them. Just too You know, the little bottle, it's got the little doily on it and then the cap on top. It's just really exquisite. I mean, it was just too fabulous, you know.
Yeah.
So I teased, I said, oh, these are really cool, you know, the little cover in underneath the lid. I put it on as a yarmulke, you know, I came on to and this was really like, yeah, included the yarmulke and the little bitty jam to stick it on there. It's like perfect. I had fun with it. I made all sorts of jokes with it. But it was just too exquisitely beautiful, you know. And
Cute.
it was just a little
Yeah.
thing. Oh, send some jam. She said 3 little bottles, different sizes, you know. You know, and it's homemade
That's
stuff
cute.
too. You know, it's the same underlying logic as the beer people. That same exquisiteness, that same refinement, that same sophistication. It's that same logic that we see in your house. You know, she's that's her. You know, so
Mhm.
it's coming. It's a magical thing. You know, it's there already. No one's coming. So
Yeah.
I want to say that's why I'm saying to connect to people who share the sensibility. It's why I hope she gets to France. You know, that
Oh, I hope so.
artistry of living in these little things. Man, you know, she's going to be really happy there. So
Mhm.
I mean, the only thing for me living in France, language.
Yeah, but there's many
I
regions
know,
because we were
I know,
concerned. I can
I know.
speak. It's harder for me to hear it than speak it
Oh,
because
interesting. Yes,
because of the speed. But
correct,
my vocabulary, he said, is grown tenfold. But I don't practice it. That's part of the
correct,
problem.
correct.
Um,
Um,
but there's so many regions
yeah,
because we talked about this
yeah,
that are English
yeah.
speaking.
Oh yeah. I mean, we
So
never had any
yeah.
problem communicating when we were in France, and we actually moved around quite a bit in France, and we actually stayed for quite a while down in Hyères, right on the south coast. Hyere. It's kind of hard to pronounce. Hyères. Anyway, they have a lot of sailing there. It's little small towny castle town, famous old castle there. Anyway, so we got to move and we stayed in Paris for a good while too. But
Mm.
so we never had any problem communicating. But for me, I particularly enjoy the exquisiteness of language and going into the depths of it. So when you are communicating the way we typically communicate, it's at a level of English that if English is Beena is an exception, but for most people, when it's a second language, it takes a while to get up to that.
Yeah.
You know? I
Yeah.
mean, that's why I so enjoy and admire Beena's exquisiteness in her English. It's phenomenal.
Oh, it's
It's really
crazy.
special.
The hardest thing is some of our little idioms, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
that we say, like when they look at that literally, they're like trying to
Yeah,
process it.
yeah,
Like
yeah. But I mean,
it's
just the extended vocabulary. Sobriety is a good example. You know, we use this word a lot. Even for native English speakers, we have to qualify and extend. So when you are looking to do this with a language, it's not that it's a problem. It's just you have to do it continually, and you miss a little bit of the conversation. I find I have to inhibit my conversing, and even with English speakers, I find I have to do this sometimes. So you know.
Mhm.
That's what I love about Beena. I do not need to do that.
Yeah,
I can speak the way I speak to anybody with
right,
Beena. Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Which is
It's
cool.
amazing.
Very
So it's
cool.
a big gift, Beena. Are you here? You listening? Where are you?
Mhm.
I don't like it when Beena's on mute. So I don't know if she's off or not. I like it
You
when you're
know,
off.
I gotta tell you, B, it was so beautiful this morning. Uh, there was that glitch with
Yeah,
your internet,
yeah,
Bina, and both of us actually, but Bina was not afraid to take charge and let's get going and
yeah.
what's
Beena's
going
awesome.
on, and it
Yeah.
it was smooth as silk this
I know.
morning.
I want to
You know,
see that more from Beena. I keep
yeah,
encouraging
it
her
was
to say,
beautiful.
man, I like it. I almost don't want to be on purpose sometimes, just to, but
No, no.
I
He knew he
love it.
was coming on, but
You're
man,
awesome,
you
Beena. You're
were
awesome. You
spot
really
on,
are.
Bina.
You
Spot
are
on,
very
Bina.
magically awesome. Yeah,
Yeah.
You. I can do this, but I don't want to because I
I know.
really
I
enjoy it.
know. I know.
Because
I know.
so it's not just to say that to praise you, but the experience, the
Yeah.
flow, the perspective. It's a different deal. Every time I'm just listening to you guys, like right now, I was just listening. It's not like I'm doing
I
something. I
appreciate
was
it.
in group, but I was continuously listening to you guys,
I, I,
and this is something magical.
I do hear you. My preference, I
Mhm.
talk a lot, but if I am in a space where I can just listen, I love it. Now, my appropriateness forces me to talk, but it is what it is. So yeah. Very cool, very cool. I love it. All right, so let's listen. Let's listen to Susan. What Susan got to say?
Okay. We have module 3, session 1, but I also have a limited time today because I have to leave for an
Okay,
appointment.
okay,
So
okay.
10:30, I have a timer.
No
Set.
problem. You when do
So
that like as Erica Jane says. I got a hard exit today. So yeah, make that.
I got a hard exit. Got it.
So you got a hard
Like
exit.
click, like Donna does. Donna just
Right.
clicks off.
Oh,
No,
Donna's the
I won't
master
do
of the
that.
hard exit. I gotta go.
She's the extra hard
What was
exit.
that?
She's the extra hard
I just love it. I just
We will
love it.
call it.
exit.
Well, I was just
Too funny.
Donna just said good morning and that. I learned so much from Donna. It's amazing to me. I'm always thinking that because Donna, it's like every single second, Donna is thinking about change and learning and growth. Wow, she really inspires me. It's amazing. It's very
Very
cool.
cool.
Very cool. Yeah. So I'm keen to connect all of us. So I'm gonna see you on Friday, hopefully. To make sure Donna can stay a little longer because she goes and does her classes and stuff typically
Yeah.
during Friday.
What was I going to say? I don't know if I'll be on at 9 if I can get everything done because we're going to be on from 11 to 1
Correct.
my time with
Correct.
Jane. So
Correct.
maybe 9:30, but more like 10.
Correct. I'm gonna try and get Donna to come back at
Oh, okay.
the
11.
time that the 2 hours before Erica Jane is typically on. Yeah. So
Yeah, which would be 11 our time. She's the
you
same
3
time
hours.
zone as
Right.
me.
So yeah. So on that same time, it's 10 our time. I'm gonna try and get like you're going to be on at 8 o'clock, which is 11 your time. So I'm going to try and get Donna to also come back at 11 because she comes
Okay.
on at 7, yeah,
Okay.
on Fridays. So, that's kind
7 her time. 7 her
yes,
time.
yeah, 4 o'clock our time, right? She comes on that
Yeah,
early
and then
shift.
I usually come on at 9. I'll get on it as soon as I have to get some stuff done on Friday morning.
Yeah, but that's good to come at 11 because then it's all focused. If others come like Robin or Kathleen and whoever, so yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Cool. That's very cool. Yeah.
All
It's
right.
interesting
So
that, okay, yeah.
interesting what?
No, as I say, that Kay seldom comes on the Fridays, but that's okay too. And she doesn't overlap with Erica Jane's sessions, which I find very interesting. Even though they're back to back, she never stays, which is good in a way. It's good.
Yeah,
It's good actually.
Yeah,
Yes.
they share it all anyway afterwards. So
they have such a it's an interesting codependency. Let's
it's a
call
fantastic,
Yes.
It's a really cool. They've really, I very seldom see a relationship like theirs that is like this. It's really, really awesome. It's very sophisticated, very subtle, but really magically profound. It's a very cool relationship. Yeah. Because yes, there is some bit of codependency, sort of, kind of, but not really, because Kay could have come and lived there by them a long time ago, but she hasn't. She's chooses to
I
stay
think Kay
in
is
a
more
different city.
codependent on Erica than vice versa.
Correct. Erica's the glue. Yeah. It's a big response. She always has been, even when she was a girl and the marriage and all that, she was the one kind of keeping things sane and sensible and the peacemaker and all the stuff. So, yeah, it's quite amazing. Yeah. That's why I'm so thrilled for her that she is looking to move different circle of friends, different relationships. It's like you stepping into a different world, a world really that's a world that is connected to you and what matters to you, and it's a world where you can be you, and that really really makes me thrilled and happy. It's very cool, and it's likewise for Joe. He too. It's him and Erica and Kay right now. Very very small world, very small world. Very cool.
Yeah,
all right, let's hear. I
So
love
this
this.
is
I'm just sharing the joys of the world. I'm just really thrilled. It makes me very happy. Very
So
cool.
this is specific doing techniques and practices, module 3, session 1, obligation to charge. So the quote from the young man is, "Loving is a joyful act. To me, it's always joyful, even in dealing with the stricken and distressed. it is a great comfort when we are the ones stressed to know that the love we are receiving is a joyful act to the one giving it. It relieves us of guilt and obligation in our time of need. We are silly that way. We sometimes struggle to accept gifts freely given, to receive pureness, which is in the joy in loving, is incredibly uplifting to the spirit. It's very much.
Wow. How appropriate isn't that in the context of Robin and Kathleen and Kevin, right? And also in with Erica Jane. Erica Jane does receive gifts joyfully, and she doesn't feel inhibited or stressed or put upon by the gifts. So we have both sides of this: the necessity to share our joy with somebody who is in distress, and also the other side, sharing gifts where somebody really appreciates and enjoys and loves the gifts. So
Yeah.
wow, very, very powerful. Very powerful. Yeah.
As a professional, we have an obligation to charge the client. Assisting others without full engagement in the course is limited and problematic.
Can you say that first sentence there again?
As a professional, we have an obligation to charge the client.
Right. You feel that?
Oh, yeah.
You have an obligation.
Yep.
Not that I want to do this for me, but it's an obligation to do so.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. It's a hard point for many people to accept. I suspect this is something that Robin might have a problem with. I know Cher struggles with it like crazy, but we have an obligation, not a desire. It's an obligation. Even if you can afford it, you still need to charge them. Afford not to, you still need to charge them. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not sure about Robin. I know she's used to the charge being automatic because she's at an office. I don't know if it would be different with her charging on an independent business.
Yeah. Very interesting to hear how that feels. So yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to get things for free, but this is seldom so. Regardless of the giver's mindset, we will inevitably feel indebted when we revise without some form of reciprocation, receive without some form of reciprocation.
Why?
Lots of people want to claim their self-growth as their own, but that is difficult when someone assists us. Even though we have assisted in some way, we have invested in the relationship in a tangible way. The client needs to acknowledge and say that they have hired a coach or went to therapy, paid for therapy, or did something which makes them ultimately responsible. Very subtle, but huge when it relates to a personal sense of obligation or self-ownership of what's been acquired. If it's paid for, it's mine. This is the main reason for clients to invest in the relationship so they can fully claim ownership of what they have acquired.
No, boo.
Quick.
All right.
You gotta, yeah. You gotta share that. What mischief was going on there? What mischief was Beena up to? Suspicion.
No, are you all right? You're not moving. No.
I'm here. Oh, right. Yeah, I just, it drops off and comes back for no apparent reason. It was stable for a long time, so I have no idea why I'm not changing anything. So who knows?
So make a list of all the value you provide and detail why it's necessary you charge. So I sent you this list on September the 2nd. So for me, it's a big list. For me, I offer my time, my energy, my attention,
Mm.
my hearing, caring,
Yes.
understanding,
Mm.
awareness,
Mm.
my my openness,
Oh, that's such a small thing, but okay.
just a little bitty thing. I offer them an opportunity for them to explore a new option. I offer a non-judgmental and safe environment, tools for application,
Yeah.
impeccability,
Yes.
passion to assist,
Yes.
replacement options for resolutions,
Mm.
self-empowerment tools, respect and honor to self and others. I offer.
Respect and honor to self and others.
Mhm,
That's subtle, but that's huge.
mhm,
Oh, okay. Respect to others. That would be, you know, a typical list that most people would make would say, well, I offer them respect, but you offer due respect. First of all, I would assume it's a qualified respect, not just a blind respect, which can be debilitating, actually, if you just respect people without it actually being justified, right? It
mhm,
doesn't really help them in the long run. But you offer them your own respect of self.
mhm, mhm,
That's not something that is easily encountered in the world. And to have the opportunity to interact with somebody who respects themselves, this is a fairly rare, sadly, occurrence. But man, it's huge and powerful.
mhm,
I I mean, take Kathleen, right?
mhm.
In that makeup, this is not quite yet there in her,
Right.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, yes, she's got it together, she's got it going on, but that real, true self-respect, it's not fully there yet. Yeah,
Mhm,
yeah,
mhm,
very, very cool. Very, very, very cool. So that's a big thing that you offer. That's why I focus on it, because yes, the openness is of course a massively huge thing, but it's more obvious than this. This is a very subtle, huge thing.
mhm.
Yeah, I mean, look at Beena too. We see this with Beena, right?
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
nice to see the externalness of it, right? We see Beena self-respect come in, and respect
Mhm.
for others too. I mean, Beena's the architect of due respect.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So I also offer my kindness, my caring, joy, cons-
Mm, mm, mm. Sorry, I was thinking of Joy when you started this list. I'm waiting for Joy to come into this.
Mhm,
That's a big deal. That's
mhm,
a very, very, very big deal. Yes.
mm. Yeah, sure
I mean,
is.
I can't emphasize enough how much of a big deal that joy is. This is just a huge thing. Yes,
Mhm. It is. I
yeah,
mean, I enjoy and
yes,
feel the joy, and I think that other people do as well, you know.
yes, yes. But it's not enjoy. You offer joy itself, which is a different thing,
Yeah,
right?
correct.
It's an innate joy that's just of the joy, the joy of being alive, the joy of the world, the joy of the magic, the joy of the universe, the joy of moreness. It's just joy itself. And this is a very, very big deal. This is a massive thing to share. And it's a precious thing to share. And it's not easily come by, that joy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool.
I offer my consideration, my sobriety,
Yes. Yes.
perspective shifting,
Yes.
diligence, self honesty, self appreciation, ethics, self value, eagerness to learn.
Self value. Self value. Self value. Self
Mhm,
value. One of those subtle things again. We are sharing stuff that is hard come by.
mhm,
Hard come by. Self value. This is an incredibly precious thing, because it is so hard come by, right?
mhm, mhm.
I mean, in your case, this was not easily come at. Yes.
Yeah, I had to earn that for myself, you know.
Yes. Big time.
Yeah.
Big
These
time.
are just commodities that you don't take lightly, about yourself. They're like precious
Exactly.
gifts, precious
Oh yeah.
commodities.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
don't
Oh yeah.
Um, I offer eagerness to learn, my eagerness to learn, my
Mm,
enthusiasm, my
mm,
moreness,
mm,
my appropriateness,
mm.
my earnestness, my
Oh, yes.
emphasis,
Yes. Yes.
my purpose,
Yeah.
my trust, my belief in self.
Yes. That's a big deal.
Mhm,
Again, I'm focusing on these specifically because to me they are culmination points.
mhm,
And they're also in the same vein as Erica Jane sharing. I'm on that theme a little bitty. These are transformative points too.
yeah.
They are culminations of what we've been doing, right? They are
Mm,
culminations of what you've been doing all your life. But in now in what since we've been doing this stuff together, there's been an extra emphasis and focus of realizing, of appreciating, of enjoying this these self facts, the self value, self appreciation. Yes.
mhm,
Yeah.
mhm, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I'm focusing on it,
Mhm,
just in that the consolidation and the locking in of it to say, hey, we're getting somewhere. We're getting somewhere. It is just this awareness that it's there, and the fact that it's on that list, but it's not a small thing. It is a big thing. It is a very, very big thing. Yes.
mm. Yeah. Yep, you bet. I offer
Excellent.
my dedication, my intensity,
Yes.
my
Yes.
feelings, my
Your what?
intensity, my
Oh,
feelings,
feelings.
feelings,
Yeah, yeah,
my
yeah.
intentions.
Sorry, your intentions or your intents, but I want to go back to feelings.
I think I have both words on there at some
All right,
point.
all right, all right. To share your feelings. This is a fantastically big thing, right? And I was practicing that very specifically today with Kathleen, right? I shared my feelings, my perceptions, my understandings, my insights in a way that we don't typically get to do in the world. The world isn't
Mhm,
set up where you get to share your feelings about people. You know, I mean, yes, sometimes
mm,
people share negative feelings. They kind of, a little bit not happy with people, but seldom do they share mourners feelings.
mhm,
They might think what I was thinking in some way or another, but how often do you hear people actually share when they are impressed with somebody, when they like somebody, when they see them honest? I never hear it,
mhm,
right? In the world, in large. I mean, not in general conversation, not in new conversations. And why not?
mhm,
Right? What I did today in terms of what I shared with Kathleen, my perspective of her, my understanding, my insight. Yes, it's speculative. Yes, I don't know very well. But why not share that? That's what I'm thinking. Why not share my feelings?
sure,
I may be wrong, but so
sure.
what? So what? And when we realize we can do this, I don't. Catherine didn't think, "Oh, I'm some weirdo," or like, "What's going on here? It's a stranger." Right? No, just part of the deal. It was just natural. It was just, "Oh, okay, wow, all right." It's a little different, a little bit of
Mhm,
surprise maybe. It's like, "Wow, oh, okay," but then it was so kind of fluid and natural that that surprise went away very quickly. Oh, well, this is just a different. Oh, okay, and then they said adaptation, and it's just taken for granted as being something normal. Yeah,
mhm,
I mean, I wasn't being casual about it. I was being very specific and applying a skill that's been acquired here. It was very deliberate, but I'm using it as an example to illustrate because this is something we can do, and it is incredibly powerful. We can step outside the boundaries of normal interactions and behaviors and communications. It's us that determines it, not
yeah,
the other people. It's us.
right.
So when you say share your feelings, it opened that door for me to say, man, please
Mhm,
do. And share this moreness, share that sophistication, share those inner thoughts that you otherwise maybe would not express or have not in the past, but I feel you are more and more expressing. Yes.
mhm. Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we hear it from Beena too. Beena shares what she's thinking and feeling, and you hear it, and it's precious. It's precious, and it's sharings that you wouldn't ordinarily hear just in general conversations, or even in this type of interaction. It's amazing. But when we do, it's really powerful. It's
Mhm.
very cool. And we see it too, like when new people come on, right, Beena? Like the people that have come from the group that have come on, just
Yes.
we just said, hey, just come hang out a little bit, and see where you're at and all this. Go, you get right inside them really quickly, and you just get that intimacy very quickly. It's very cool. It's very, very cool. Very powerful. All right. We'll come back to this more. It's a big point. It's a big point. I just want to bring it up because I mean, I'm listening to your list, but it's a moreness point that it's been on my mind. This opportunity, I didn't want to forget
Yeah.
it. Magical things. Very cool. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, you enjoy it too, right, Sue? When you
Sure.
can say what you are really thinking and feeling.
Absolutely. When appropriate. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the key. That's the key. The when appropriate is a little tricky here,
Yeah.
because
Yeah. 'Cause
our
we don't wanna be-
history says it's not appropriate, but we can make it appropriate and have others feel it to be appropriate simply because we've shifted and we initiate a whole new paradigm of appropriateness.
Mhm.
And this is the key point that I'm looking to make clear here. It's up to us. We can create a new environment where things are appropriate that were not so before. But we are shifting. We are shifting the world and changing it. And this is a very big deal for appropriateness, because if we make our appropriateness retroactive, it's very limiting.
Mhm.
To
Yeah.
understand that we can initiate and create new environments where new things are appropriate and that were not so before. This is a power. This
Yeah.
is a power. We suddenly start to be creators of our reality. And also, we can shift others to feel that and be it and see it. It's very powerful. It's very, very, very powerful. Very cool. Very, very cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Exciting, actually.
It's
Yeah.
very exciting. It's very
Yeah.
exciting and humbling also. Yeah.
Mhm.
Very, very exciting. Yeah. Good.
I offer my freedom. I offer my being enough, my cueing.
Oh, 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 oh. Sorry. My being enough?
Mhm.
Beena, don't we need more on that one there? I think so. I think
Yes.
so. Yes.
Yes.
I love the way Beena teases us with that pause. Just,
Mm.
you got to
I was
breathe
taking,
a little bit.
no, I was taking care of group, so I have to jump here. It's
Oh,
not a window.
multitasking. Multitasking.
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Yes.
Brilliant. But yeah, I mean, we want to hear that. Say this the point again, please, Sue.
I offer me being enough.
I got to hear. What do you mean by this exactly?
That all I have to do is be me. And that's plenty.
My
You
heart
know,
just wants to jump out of my chest. He just wants to jump out and just run around and jump on your shoulder and on your head and just do party. It's like, man alive.
which again, the old struggle was uh, inadequacy and not smart enough and whatever, and this has brought such a peace and a calmness.
Yes, yes.
Mm.
When we realize we are not smart enough, and it's okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
We're never going to be smart enough. No matter how smart you are, you're never going to be smart enough. So, okay,
Exactly.
so I'm enough. I'm enough. That's it.
So really, it amazed me every single time you say that. You were thinking like, really?
But we are, we dumbasses a lot of the time. I mean, we really are. I'm like, sometimes I'm like, man, what the hell, I just don't get it. I'm like, but it's not that we're stupid. It's just, this is the nature of
Oh,
the
but
reality.
this,
I don't care if I'm stupid anyway. I'm enough. What the hell,
no, like, you guys, how can you even imagine this thought? This is the
Oh,
actual.
okay, must be there. Just you wait, Sue. When this comes up now, remember this conversation. I'm hoping it never comes up, but man, I'm going to bring this back on you. Should you do the same, Beena? Because just so you know, because I have seen it a little bit in Beena.
Huh?
Mhm.
Oh, skills, but
I'm teasing you.
this is your wild nature, really.
My,
This is
my what
guys,
nature?
your wild nature. You and Sue both. The
We are wild, yes.
wildest idea you could ever have. But you guys are stupid.
Yeah, yeah. You know, what can I tell you? It's a good thing to have, as long
Yeah.
as we don't let it overpower us. Because yes, it keeps us humble, but we have to understand it's not a limitation. It's a
Ah,
positive,
yes,
because it makes
yes.
us creative, it makes us inventive, it makes us diligent, it makes us scrupulous, it makes us thorough, it makes us look at things from multiple perspectives in order to figure out that. It forces us to think things through to the end. Because I know I'm bloody stupid, otherwise I'm not gonna get it. I always felt all my life I was a very slow learner.
Mhm.
What can I
Seriously.
tell you?
So did I.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I still feel that way.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Ah,
But it
guys are
forces me
amazing.
to be thorough and to be diligent and to be scrupulous and to really get into the depths of things. And look how that is of value to me. Look how that's helped me to really understand things to their full depths, every corner, every side angle, every sub little path, every detour. I really make an effort to know them all. And this is massively helpful. Yes.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yes.
it's a boon. So if we were to go back and we choose the way we're going to be, we're doing character creation for this life that we live in. We said, okay, not too smart. We chose that, Sue. We chose that because of the benefits. If you're too smart, you get stuff too quickly. And I see this with smart people who get stuff too quickly. They tend to assume that they know it as other things too. They never get to be thorough. They never get to real, true capital U understanding. And this for
Yeah.
us is absolutely the precious thing. Look, you're an understanding warrior. Understanding. So if I'm too smart, I can skip over actual understanding and I can get to that where, yes, you kind of get it, but you don't really, really understand it. You
Mhm.
watch people that aren't that smart. When they understand something, boy, they really, really do understand it. I see
Mhm.
it in craftsmen and tradesmen and people that are doing specialized, like plumbers and electricians and stuff. The guys who really understand, they're not the smartest out there, and they'll be the first to say it. But man alive, do they understand what they do? And are they not just a joy in their field? It's fantastic. Yes. So
Mhm.
it's a blessing to me. It's a very, very big blessing. Yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm not typically, on that scale. I understand that I have some intelligence, but when I was at school, when I was in junior school, I was top of the class. I lost interest after a while, but smart kids and all this, I saw the limitations. Yeah, you know.
Mhm.
I know a lot of people smarter than me, much smarter than me, but I also saw that it was limiting. So yeah, so it's a big plus. It's a big plus.
It
So I don't
is.
mean to
Yeah.
harp on this point, but it's a big plus. Like I say, if I have to choose in terms of character creation on that scale, if I could choose, I do not check that at the top. I put it like at about, I don't know, 65%. So that's about a good 66%.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
That's a good place to be at. Yeah.
Mhm.
Keeps us humble, forces us to be impeccable, in other words. Not being too smart forces impeccability. How
Mhm.
magical is that, yeah?
Mhm. No,
But you never thought of it that way.
no, it didn't. You put yourself in that immersion of stupidity, or inadequacy,
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
hard to see the positive side of
yeah,
um,
yeah. That's the
it's
danger of this choice.
okay not to know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the danger of this choice. However, though, if we were to sit beforehand and we let's say we're having this discussion before we coming into this game and we're doing character creation now, we're discussing, say, okay, you know what, but what's the downside of me choosing, okay, on the intelligence scale, because when you make a new character in the game, you get to choose things, not intelligence usually, but anyway, well, sometimes, but anyway, so what's the danger? The danger is that we fall into that emotion of feeling stupid. I say, yeah, but you know what, you are choosing diligence and thoroughness, right? As this, and you are choosing persistence. Yes, you're going to be very persistent. So over time, you are going to learn because we've chosen learning and growing. that's the skill that we can max. Now, in character creation, typically you've got to do pluses and minuses. It's a trade-off. You can't just choose max in all of them, right? So this is our trade-off. So I say, okay, I go lower on the intelligence, which I want anyway, but this allows me to choose learning and growing to max that slider all the way to the top. If I'm learning and growing, even if I fall into a temporary bubble of self-doubt and feeling stupid and all this, my learning and growing is going to catch up sometime, and I'm going to stop and look around me and say, oh, you know what? Despite me feeling stupid, I've actually gotten somewhere. So then that bubble will break and I'm at a good place. I may have to go through a rough patch, but the end is going to be worth it. In the reverse, though, if you get caught up in a bubble of superiority and self-belief and all of this nonsense, you're just done for, right? All right. So it's a good choice. It's a good choice. It's a good trade-off, right, Sue?
I'll take it. I'll take it.
Exactly.
Be proud of it.
Exactly. 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 That we had the fortitude and the courage and the depth of self to be able to make such a choice.
Yeah.
This is quite something. Plus, in terms of relatability to the world, it's a big deal. It's a big deal,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
We can connect with anybody. Yeah.
Mhm.
Wow. Wow. Very humbling to realize that we are geniuses and we don't even know it.
Mhm.
I mean, that's a genius choice, is it not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Genius in our
Said
own way.
yesterday about impeccability.
It forces impeccability. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yeah. Wow. Wow.
Very
Wow. 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 Big
cool.
deal. Big deal. Yeah.
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 So I offer queuing.
Yeah.
I offer
Oh,
love.
sorry. I know this is a long list and we might be here for a while, but this stuff is coming up. In this, I offer queuing. This is the offer of leadership,
Mhm. Mhm.
right? And that's what I was saying earlier in terms of sharing our feelings, right? That queuing, I'm queuing an environment in which it's okay to do what I was doing, to share, positive, intimate things that other people don't typically share like this, to say nice things about people in depth without it being flattery, right? To just share my inner thoughts. But I need to set up the queuing, and the queuing is the gift that makes the whole thing appropriate and work, and not awkward and not funny and not strange, and to be a really special, magical gift. So queuing is the gift of leadership, and to me, leadership is taking on and doing something that others are not willing to do. That's it. That's really what leadership is, right? I don't have to have the skills. I'm just willing to do what others are not, right? Leaders don't have to have the skills or the technical abilities or not. They are just willing to actually lead and cue. This is leadership. Yeah.
Yeah, no question. Yeah.
And the
Yeah, not every.
willingness to do that is a big gift because you're
Mhm.
doing extra work. That's all that leadership is. It's a willingness to do extra work,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm. Mhm.
I mean, true leadership where ego is not involved. True
Right.
leadership is just a willingness to do extra work. It's like, seriously, anybody in their right mind, who the hell wants to do this? In other words, true leadership is an act of nobility. And
Mhm.
this queuing is likewise an act of nobility,
Mhm.
doing more than is required by goodness. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Very
And
big deal. Very big deal.
it's a queuing reminds me of appropriate emphasis, appropriate attention to something.
Yes.
You
And it's a
know,
leadership
brilliant.
attention.
Yeah.
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 Because when we
Definitely.
queue, we are leading. Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, so we have to be cautious with, like as a leader too, you have to be very cautious when you are leading and when you are forcing and when you are pushing, So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So key part of leadership, make sure that who you are leading is that those that are following is always voluntary.
Is always what? Is always.
Voluntary. Yeah.
Oh, voluntary.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So for me, I'm only interested in leadership when those that are involved are volunteers.
Mm-hmm.
That keeps me on my toes. That keeps me sharp. And I will remind them that they are volunteers. You free to leave anytime, right? This is your choice. So there's never this because I'm the boss, I can force you to do. No, you're a volunteer. So this is a very different type of leadership. And it's a very magical kind of leadership. To me, you get to real true leadership because now people are doing things because they really want to. You tapping into what it is and you figuring it out and so on. But you're not misusing your queuing. You're not abusing it. You're not putting pressure because that doesn't last for very long. You're going to lose your people very quickly. So very, very
Yeah.
powerful. I will get into we'll get into this another time. So very cool, very cool.
I offer love, application,
Mm,
motivation.
mm,
I offer my being.
mm.
I offer my ability to pay attention,
Yeah,
learning.
you not just your ability to pay attention, but the gift of your attention itself.
Hmm.
That's a thing. That's a something. Attention is a something. It's an energy. It's a force. It's a power. It's a very powerful thing. It is a cueing in its own right.
Hmm. Yes, yes, it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. I mean, we can shift the entire mood, circumstance, tonality, uh, conceptuality, awareness of an engagement simply through the power of our attention, right?
Hmm.
And this is again a very profound leadership that we have to take into real ethical consideration, right? So when we're aware that our attention can shift things and limit things as well, yes, it's an emphasis, but we have to be very cautious with this and very responsible with our attention, right?
Hmm. Yeah, appropriate, appropriate attention.
Exactly. That's why our attention is on the client, not on
Hmm.
our agenda. The moment it's our agenda, you stepping into ethical boundaries. Now you are forcing, yeah.
Hmm.
But when it's on them, and it's the attention is on them bringing it out, on them resolving, on them coming to awareness, on them coming to understanding, on them learning and growing. This is a fantastic cueing. So attention and cueing get together. Yes, cueing is when we are very deliberately and specifically focusing on something, but attention is a more general cueing on what is appropriate from the other side, not ours. Yes, in the way we use attention
Yeah.
can be misused, or at least if sometimes we want to use our attention to cue. For instance, when you are dealing with somebody who is a BMN, or like in let's say in the circumstance, a spouse comes in and they don't want to know and all of this, our attention can create an environment that basically confines them into a focus point where they can still leave all that stuff behind and just focus on their thing and just share appropriately. So we can use it to sort of sometimes be a little bit forceful to cue stuff when you're dealing with children.
Hmm.
Right? I mean, when we're dealing with children, sometimes you've got to be a bit of a bully. Just no way around it. Or dogs,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
You don't have to be a bully in a negative sense, but you have to have that forceful cueing a little bit sometimes, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So attention, very powerful, very, very, very powerful.
I offer learning, vulnerability.
Yeah. Wow, that's a
Here's
big
where
gift. That's a big gift that you share, by the way. Your ability to be open and honest and to share your vulnerability, it's something special. Yeah,
I always felt that that was a strong suit of mine to
correct. Yeah, yeah,
just be honest. How can I expect that from somebody else if I'm not being it?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. That's very admirable. It's very
Mhm.
magical.
Here's where again, here was intense, offering intense and versus the,
Yeah. Yes, yes, yes.
I offer self acceptance.
No
Um,
small feet. No
yeah.
small feet. Yeah, yeah. Again,
And in that too, I'm just thinking in self acceptance, it's also, I offer the celebration of differences. Um,
yes,
yeah.
yes, 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 yes. Your self acceptance is premised on the celebration of difference.
Hmm.
Some people self accept themselves and it's just an ego thing. I'm wonderful. La. And you crap. No, No, that's not real self-acceptance. So when it's premised on the celebration of difference, this becomes an example. You become an exemplar of acceptance, not
Mhm.
self-acceptance, but acceptance itself. Capital A acceptance. Capital
Mhm.
A acceptance is the celebration of difference. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
That's no small thing to share. That's
Mhm.
no small thing to offer to a client.
Yeah. It's big. I realize the importance of it,
Yeah,
the criticalness of it. So that's why it's
yeah,
easy then to share it, knowing how important it is. Yeah.
exactly. And what it's premised on. Because if
Mm-hmm.
we just self acceptance, oh, I am what I am, and I accept myself for what I am. I'm a knucklehead. I'm lazy. I'm indulgent. I'm full of nonsense, and I just accept myself.
Mm-hmm.
No, 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 no. That's not celebration of difference. That's just indulgence. And you just forcing me, you walking around spreading your stuff all over the show and I got to take it. No, thank you very much. That's just not nice. That's not
Mm-hmm.
cool. So, yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a whole different self-acceptance.
Yeah. I offer happiness,
Yes.
awareness,
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
clarity, pertinence,
Mm.
relevance,
Ah, yes. Yes.
understanding, incorporation.
Oh, explain, please. Explain, please.
Like I offer the ability to incorporate more like it's similar, very similar to connecting,
Mm.
to incorporate something or someone into that bigger picture there.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
yeah.
And you also are doing this in the context of incorporating into yourself. Yes.
Mhm. Sure, sure. Bringing it all in. Yeah. For them, for me, yes, 100%.
Yeah.
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 They're
And
connecting.
incorporating it into your own physicality,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
this is a big, big deal for you in particular. And the success that you have in this is also a big deal, that you have now incorporated your own moreness, your own togetherness, your own sensibility, your own sobriety, your own coolness, your own happiness, joy. All of these things that you are sharing so far, you've incorporated them into your physicality. Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
you feel the moreness of Sue, but you
Mm-hmm.
never, I mean, you have a long history of not exemplifying and celebrating yourself in your physicality. But
Mm-hmm.
that's changing, right?
Mm-hmm. Definitely
Yeah,
changing.
it's a very big deal. And this is one of the gifts of all of these tests.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You can't have hang-ups and be all shy and awkward about your body and go to all these tests. I mean, you're being poked and prodded and examined in every which way, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
You've got to you got to be okay with your physicality in order to
Mm-hmm.
do all this. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Definitely.
I mean, you in the eye, as it were, and the fact that you can do this and you never even it's not even a thought means that you have incorporated this. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, I imagine in your 20s this would not have been an easy thing to do all this stuff,
Um,
or not in the same way. Yeah.
yeah, not in the same way. Not in the same way. Yeah. Yeah. I would say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, there's
I
not a comfort with the body. I mean, it might
yeah.
not be where you want
Underneath
it to
it
be.
all, no.
Yeah. Yeah.
No. Did I
Absolutely.
share it? Yeah. But but the uncomfortableness was
Yeah. Yeah.
where the hiccup was.
Correct. Correct. But now you're comfortable with your body. It is what it is, and you like it. It's meant to
Yeah.
be the way it is, and there you go. Right.
Yep. Now I'm more thankful for it. Yeah. Than I
Thank you.
was. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, Sue.
Mm,
Wow. That came out so casually, but that's a huge statement, no?
yeah.
A
But
lot
where
of
before I don't
implications
think
in there.
I appreciated it, I just abused it from every
Yeah.
level, But to be thankful, you can get up in the morning, you can put both feet on the ground, take
Yes.
you to
But
the bathroom and.
yeah, and also thankful as your body being an exemplification of your moreness.
Mm-hmm.
You have
Mm-hmm.
so much moreness, and
Mm-hmm.
you need a container for it all. So
Hmm. Yeah.
Very
And
much so.
again, we talked about this before. That's why I'll never be little, because
No, you can't. You
little
can't.
container
Listen.
couldn't hold all this. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. So,
Exactly. Ah, it's very cool. That's incorporation. That's
yeah.
incorporation. It's corporeal, physical, body, corpse.
hmm hmm
Yeah.
I offer retraining the brain, sharing, repeat backs, takeaways, extrapolation,
Mm.
leveraging,
Oh, yes. Yes, yes, yes.
effort reward,
Yes.
discipline.
Ah, give us some examples, please.
I offer discipline. I offer
Yeah. Like in what
my
case?
discipline of knowing what is appropriate and what isn't anymore. To not to have the discipline to shut up and listen, the discipline to not advise or recommend, and instead let them, like, so we did, with Robin today.
Yeah.
There was a lot of things all the three of us knew and could figure out, but by the questions and the situations and conversation that came up, she figured it out herself. That she
The,
was a perfect
the
example.
discipline of restraint in this
Yeah,
case.
there
Yes.
you go.
Okay.
Restraint.
Okay.
That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, also you're offering the discipline in your personal application of your own learning and growth, right? You are
hmm
saying, but I'm working on this stuff every day. I'm being disciplined in the application of the practice of patience, or the practice of perspective shifting, or the practice of celebrating difference, etc., right? You're
hmm
disciplined in this. You do
Yeah.
this every day.
I feel like I'm very disciplined. I'm very
Oh yeah, oh
self-motivated.
yeah,
Very,
oh
yeah.
yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big thing
You
to
know.
offer.
Yeah.
Very cool, very cool, very cool. I just wanted to be more clear that it's not just an abstract concept, but to have specific examples that go with it. It's very useful.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure. I offer accessibility. And again, that's appropriate accessibility,
Yes.
Um,
Yes. Yes. Now your accessibility is, yes, I'm accessible, but this is a favor. This is a gift. This isn't just something we do we taken for granted. Oh, if you need sushi, it's going to be there. No, I won't be. If I offer this, this is something special that I'm offering.
so many more times. I mean, every time an appointment's made or somebody needs help, it's based on what I can do, not,
Exactly. Exactly.
saying, oh, yeah, I can go tomorrow, or, can you come in an hour? I don't want that. You know
Ah,
what I mean? No, I don't do that anymore. I don't. Yeah.
right. It's a gift. Your accessibility is a profound
Oh,
strategic gift that
that's
is
right.
really based in sobriety, but it's a gift. It is an absolute gift. I mean,
Yeah.
you could quite easily be inaccessible.
Sure.
Quite
Sure.
easily. Quite easily. It won't take much to shift things to making you inaccessible.
hmm hmm
As a warrior, we need to be accessible and inaccessible at the precise moments in time and space and sensibility, right? It's very important to choose that. If we are overly accessible, then you're strategically vulnerable. If you are overly inaccessible, same point, because we need to make ourselves available to learning, to growth, to opportunity, to newness, right? But we want to be inaccessible to nonsense and indulgence and abuse and overusage and energy drains and all of this stuff, right? So this understanding of availability and unavailability is very, 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 very important.
Appropriate accessibility.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. And to see it as a strategic function,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. And I
I mean,
do now.
accessibility and availability, both. I
Yeah.
can be available, but not necessarily be accessible.
hmm
They nuance differences, but yeah,
hmm
yeah, both of them together.
They need to know the value of what I'm offering,
Yeah, yeah,
when I'm
yeah,
available.
yeah. Right. I mean, I'm available, but I'm not always accessible.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
That's right. Yeah.
yeah. If
I
you
also,
really, really need me, I am available.
mhm,
My accessibility, you're gonna have to maybe go through a few hoops, but hey, okay, that's if you really need it, I'm there. No
mhm.
worries.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very cool, very cool.
I offer validation, I offer honorableness. I offer leadership. I offer willingness.
Oh, that's a big deal. That's a very big deal. Seems such a casual one there in that list, right? But to
Mhm,
me, that's a huge deal.
mhm.
In other words, you're willing to go, right, where others might not want to.
Yeah,
You're willing to do what they might not do. You're willing
yeah,
to explore, to understand, to examine, to endure, right,
mhm.
what
Yeah,
others might
Bill
not.
says that all the time. He goes, "Ugh, I could never do what you do. I could never go there." You know,
Yeah, yeah,
I
that's a
like it.
very big deal. And that's something that we all offer, right, Beena?
Yep. Hmm.
Beena, you feel you offer a willingness as well?
Yes, yes, for sure.
Right, right. And what's magical is that, Beena's willingness, it's despite her personal reservations, she's still willing. Her personal predilections, her personal style, and what really sits and resonates with her, she's willing to go past that if necessary.
Mhm.
But hey, only if necessary. So she keeps us on our toes with her willingness too. Very cool.
Yes.
I
Let's
offer nobility,
Yes.
yes,
vigilance.
yes, not vigilantism.
Right, right.
Okay.
Just being vigilant.
In today's world, we got to say, wait,
Vigilant.
just for those people who might want to misunderstand the word. No, not a vigilante. I'm vigilant. Very big difference. Very big difference. Yeah. We need to be vigilant against vigilantism.
Mhm. There you
Mm.
go. I offer worthiness,
Mm. Yes, you do.
self-respect,
Yes, you do.
self-love,
Yes,
self-confidence,
yes,
patience,
yes. Self-enjoyment kind of needs to come at the end of those selves there, if you ask me.
self-enjoyment. I'll put that in there.
I mean, just in that sequence, the
Yeah,
culmination
you're
is
right. It fits.
self-enjoyment. Yeah,
It fits. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. It's very important. Very important.
Humility,
Mm.
goodness, progression.
Oh yes. Oh yes. Now, is that past progression, present progression, future progression, ongoing progression? All of the above?
I'd say all of the above.
Okay. Very
For sure.
important. Because it's so easy if you just say progression that it might just be a retrospective progression.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
very, very, very important, I feel, that we share ongoing progression
Yeah.
and we
Yeah.
emphasize the
Yeah.
ongoingness of it in
And
what
we
we do to share this. I feel very
yeah.
important.
And we do that every time we come on with Robin. Every time.
Right.
How
Absolutely.
well she's doing
Yeah.
and
But I
encourage
mean,
her.
our progression. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. That we aren't in that space. Oh, you know what? I used to progress. I was progressing and learning, and now I've arrived. That's why it's ongoing progression. Yes, it's a subtle thing that we might not even consciously think or feel or subconsciously, but it might be implied internally. We are always going, but we need to share our learning and our updates. It's important.
Hello?
I'll be back to. I'm gonna get some food in the fridge, Beena, so I
Yeah.
won't be able to. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. I offer
So,
self
sorry,
empowerment.
that point of our ongoing progression. It's a very big point. That we want to share our learning, our growth, and you do. And it's very important because otherwise, it's very easy for clients to start to see you initially, especially as they got it together, they there, and get a bit of a hero worship type thing going, and we don't want that, right?
Mhm. Right.
It's not helpful for the client at all, at
Hmm.
all. It's very
Create
debilitating. Yeah,
dependency. Yeah.
yeah, very
Hmm.
unhealthy, very unhealthy. Yeah.
Offer self empowerment,
Mm-hmm,
self proof.
mm-hmm.
That validation came up again. Truthfulness.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And truthfulness applies not only to the not so pleasant, but in the case of Kathleen,
Yeah.
right? I was just being truthful, what I felt and what I understood and what I perceived, right? So
Mhm.
truthfulness goes the other way as well. We tend to think when I offer truthfulness, uh, most people hear it only in context of the negative.
Mhm.
Why not be truthful about the magical positive? Why not? Why not?
Right.
Why
Mhm.
are we so constrained in that regard? Doesn't make any sense to me.
Mhm. Wonderful.
Make any sense to me at all. I used to be like that. This is relatively new thing for me talking about ongoing progression. You know, uh, and I've worked hard at this ability, and I find it so fantastic. It changes my entire interaction. I go to the hardware store or wherever, and I share this, and man, it's transformative. I just share with people what I see, and it just changes my whole world and changes my interaction, and it changes the relationships and just the whole interactions. Oh, it's
Mhm.
unbelievable. It's really
Yeah.
fantastic. Very cool.
Absolutely.
Oh, it's very, very cool. Yeah.
I'm going to end here.
Ah,
Mark
okay.
it.
Oh, the
Take
hard
my.
exit. The hard exit. Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
Very good. Very good. Very good. Very good. So what's those skid marks?
I, yeah, okay. So you guys have a great day, and I'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow. Friday.
Friday. Oh, yeah. Oh, you can't tomorrow. That's right. You can't tomorrow.
No, I have that
Yeah.
surgery.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Very good. Be strong.
Okay.
Be powerful. Be positive.
Will
But that's
do.
just another way of saying be Sue. So okay.
You too.
Bye bye, Sue.
All
See you
right.
on Friday. See you on Friday. Yes,
Bye
fantastic.
bye.
Oh, bye bye. Bye bye. Bye bye. What magic, Beena. What magic we live in.